people or like fake dogs. Where you gonna find dogs? You know what I'm saying? So they had to really do those scenes and hope they didn't fall into the backyards.
Oh my God!
To do the movie.
That movie, wow! It comes to show you, you know, like Ricky, you know, kid grows up
played
in the
by
hood.
Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, Morris Chestnut. He grew up in the hood, you know. He's looking for his way out. He finally gets his way out, and then ends up getting killed because, you know, of the situations that happen day to day with the brother, and you know, and all that.
Yes.
What makes that movie
You know?
as credible as it is, aside from the clear message, you have a plethora of home run hitters in that movie.
Yeah.
From Lawrence Fishburne to Cuba Gooding Jr. to Morris Chestnut to Angela Bassett to Nia Long.
Cool.
You have all of these heavy hitters in there.
Right.
Angela
And
Bassett. Wow.
it's
That was a
just
bomb.
it shows you a
Regina King.
exactly.
Uh,
You know,
yeah,
you get a
wow.
glimpse.
227.
Yeah, you get a glimpse into, you know, a life that was the norm for a lot of people, and so in so many words, in so many ways, it's the norm for kids now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's pick any hood USA, and there are kids that, you know, hey, look, their ticket to get out is their talent in sports. You know, so if you live in a place where, you know, crime is rampant, you know, gangs are rampant,
Right.
you know, either A, are you going to play football and get out of that, you know, or basketball or whatever sport you're in, you know, or are you going to succumb to the surroundings, the gang violence, the activities and stuff like that, you know, and that movie just did an awesome job of showing that. You know, you got a kid, you got two kids, three kids really, because if you take Doughboy and you take
Right.
Cuba Gooding's character Trey, and you take Morris Chestnut's character Ricky, you have the football player, you have the brother of the football player who's going to a dead end, then you have the one in the middle, you know,
Trying
who
to do good and
right,
do the bad.
who was
Tell me
with
who
this-
didn't cry when
Right.
that dude got shot.
right,
Oh
but
my
then
God.
Yeah, I was like,
the
wow,
message even from that, where Cuba Gooding Jr. first was living with his mom, Angela Bassett,
Right.
and she realized that, you know what, I can't give you what your daddy can give you, so I'm gonna send you to live with your daddy. And then you go and you move in with your dad,
Right.
and now you have to experience life, and your father has to run you and steer you in that direction as far as what a male is supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know, and at the same time teaching you lessons about what not to get into, you know, and all kinds of topics, you know, between friends and violence and schools and
No, and
drugs.
then he has
and,
the example that Doughboy and Ricky, guess what they have? A single mom.
yeah.
So
Yep.
that's an example of what could happen if
Right.
you don't have a father, a level-headed father
Right.
present in your
Right.
life.
Right.
And then it
You know what
also
I'm saying?
shows, in that case, the single mom, how she was unable to successfully balance herself between her two kids.
Yeah.
Because she pushed for Ricky to make it. Ricky was the guy. That's
Yeah.
who was going to
The
make
favorite.
it. Doughboy, not so much. You know, I'm not worried about you.
It's good
you
for
know,
nothing.
It's good for nothing. You ain't nothing, whatever. But in the end of that movie, where his brother passed away and he got revenge, you know, and then he has this epiphany and he thinks, you know what, I need to change. But then when he walks across the street and his figure fades out of view,
Yeah.
and we find out that a
Yeah,
few
he-
days later he was killed
Of course,
in a
he's gonna
drive-by,
get shot.
it lets you know that for some of these guys, for hundreds of thousands of kids, there is no escaping that lifestyle. The only way you escape is with the bullet. And it's unfortunate and it's sad. But that movie was wonderful at showing that. John Singleton did an awesome job at just showing us how it is, you know, in any hood
That's
USA.
another movie that I showed my son, Camilo, when he was younger.
And
He loved it.
You
He
know
loved it.
what the moral of the story that you pick up off of this is something that has been, you know, attacking society for a long time, which is, you know, the one parent homes.
Yeah.
And it starts at home. You know, that's where the you know, the problem is. There's only one parent. A lot of cases, there's that one parent that does that great of a job, that, you know, gets to be that role model and be that mentor for their kids, that they come up above ground, you know, like A1 type of
Well, the ones that
individual.
are raised with grandparents, because both parents are
Yeah,
not present.
true, you know, because
Like in the case, I think it was Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
His grandmother was the one that got him to football.
Mhm.
Right.
She got him into piano lessons.
Yep.
She got him into everything.
Yeah.
And all those skills helped him in the movies.
Right. So
You know?
Yeah.
He got to do Ray because he learned piano.
Awesome movie.
And just that investment.
That's a.
But
oh my God.
before we leave, because before we leave that topic, somebody just wrote here another movie that from the '90s that every time it's on TV I watch. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I was talking about.
My brother, let me give you a 5 on that because
Oh,
that's
that
what
was
we're
the
going to
one who
next.
mentioned that.
Yes, hey,
Tim Robbins.
great.
That is the
choice.
most
God.
incredible.
Yes.
And I remember when I was, 'cause I've been to college 3 times in my life. When I was at my first time in college in '98, in my English class, we had to do an analysis on that movie.
Wow.
And I was like, I love that movie. So it was like a fun project.
It was easy for you.
And I didn't notice some of the things that the professor talked about in the movie, like about imagery, right? There was a few things that happened. For example, you remember at the end when he escapes?
Yeah.
He goes through the tunnel, and inside you're like, oh my God, bro, that's miles and miles.
A mission.
But once he gets out,
5 football fields of
once he
pure
gets out,
Ugh.
the imagery is like he was reborn, right? When a baby comes through,
Oh, wow.
right? So the
Hey,
symbolism
that's
was
good.
like you go
I
through
didn't
the
look
birth
at it- I didn't
canal,
look at it like that.
and he was rebirth. It was a rebirth.
Wow.
Like
Amazing.
that was what he's a famous director.
The guy that directed.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
talking
he's done a lot of
about-
movies.
Oh my God.
It's not Wes Craven. It's one of those.
No, it's that was actually
He
Stephen
did.
King.
He did. Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Stephen
yes.
King was Stephen
Wow.
King didn't direct it.
No,
Stephen
no, no,
King
no. He wrote the
book.
movie,
Right.
but the one who directed it was he did Batman. I think he did the first Batman. What's his
Yeah.
name?
Keaton. Michael Keaton?
No. The director.
Oh.
Well, the director
Anybody
that was
remembers?
Frank Darabont. The guy Frank Darabont.
Of
No,
the
those I'm getting confused. No, you're right. It was a Stephen King novel.
Yeah, it
No,
was a
you're
Stephen
right.
King novel.
No, I was thinking about the one Tim Burton.
Tim Burton,
No,
yeah.
no.
Burton.
Or was it Tim Burton that did? No,
No.
he didn't do it. No. I got confused. I apologize. No. But the other thing about that movie that to me was so crazy was that the way he quietly started chiseling the wall, started preparing everything. He prepared. He said, you know what? Since I know how to do taxes and I know numbers, I'm gonna start gaining trust from the warden. Boom. The way he set everything up. It was over a bunch of years
Right.
Too many.
that anybody would have gone crazy. Everybody would have said, no way. He made like a plan. He made like a business plan. He's like, all right, I'm gonna be out of here in X amount of years, and I'm done.
Andy
He had
Dufresne.
everything
Did
planned.
it.
The thing that I love about that, in addition to everything you just said, because you're spot on. Again, who was it that mentioned this, George? Who was it?
Jorge.
Thank you very much. Because The Shawshank Redemption is a movie that I share the love with my father. So my dad, we set up one night and we talked about Shawshank for at least about a good 2 hours. And
Wow.
the messages in that. And my father asked me, say, son, do you think that you could do that? I said, do what? He said, do you think that you can be in the position that Andy was in, knowing that you were convicted of a crime that you didn't commit?
Yeah.
And then the crazy part about that, he also asked me, say, think about it. At a certain point of time in his incarceration, they actually found the guy that knew where the guy was that actually did it. How ironic, how crazy is it that you're in prison and another inmate comes in and he's telling a story and he's talking about this guy who was in this other prison, and the guy was talking about how he went and killed this banker's wife. And the banker's wife is your wife. That's the guy that killed them. So now you realize, okay, this is the guy that can set me free. But because you have become the guy with the taxes, you have made all of these guys so much money, you've saved the warden so much money, you've gotten to a position in the prison system that they need you. So now we're not gonna let you get out. So what does the warden do? They kill that guy. The only guy that knew the innocence of Andy. So now Andy is like, okay, now I'm never getting out. But he did not quit. He didn't give up. And for him to take
Perseverance.
that hammer, and the question that he asked was, how long do you think it will take me to chisel through a wall like this? And then Morgan Freeman's guy said, oh, about 20 years. And he said, okay. And his mentality was, I got nothing but time. And he took the time to do that. And he chiseled with that hammer. And he went, and every day when he went in, he got the routine down, he got the trust of the warden, and then he was able to take a pair of the shoes out. And in the end, when he's walking to his cell, and the guy looked down at his feet and saw that he had on clean black shoes, not the brown issue shoes that the inmates get. He had on clean black shoes because he had the suit on under that. And that set up the way he did that, and being able to take the money over years and years and years and put it in the account and create another image of a person. When he got out of jail, when he came through that canal, as you so eloquently put it, he went to, I think they said 4 or 5 different banks that day.
Right.
And he withdrew the money that he put in there through all them years. And then when Morgan Freeman's character got out, I like how it shows the difficulty of an inmate adjusting to society. You got a guy who was in prison for so many decades, and he went institutionalized, and he went through parole hearing after parole hearing after parole hearing, and no matter what Morgan Freeman said, they stamped denied on there until he finally realized, you know what, y'all gonna say what you want to say, and I could care less because I know that who I am.
Right.
And then when they heard that, you know, like they finally approved him. Then he goes out into the real world, and when he was in the grocery store bagging the groceries, because that's the job that he got,
Right.
you know, he said, hey, restroom break, boss. And then the guy says, hey, you don't have to let me know every time you have to take a piss. You know, and then he went in, and I remember seeing him, because of the institutionalization, him being institutionalized, he went and he put his hands on the wall. Because that's what he was so used to. He needed to go in there to feel the closeness of that space. And then when he went into his room and he seen the sign up on the beam that said Brooks was here, because the guy Brooks got out before, and Brooks couldn't make it outside. Brooks killed himself.
That had the bird every time.
The bird had the bird, exactly. You know, so Morgan Freeman's character battled with wanting to do good and wanting to do bad, just to go back into prison because that's the only thing that he knew. And finally he said, you know what, okay, Andy sent me a card, I'm gonna go follow the directions on the card. He goes, he finds the tree, he digs it up, he finds the money and everything in the directions, and they meet at the end of the movie on the beach where Andy is working on the boat that he told him he would work on.
Right.
I feel like,
that
to
movie
me,
is so much.
Yeah.
That's what I tell you, when I did that project,
so many lessons.
I'm gonna tell you one more thing that I learned from doing that project. But before, I want to acknowledge some people. My son, Juan Camilo, is just connected. He's actually our technical director that's absent today. He's having an anniversary with.
Happy anniversary!
And my grandson is with him somewhere. Oh no, he's not with him. He's not with him. But Camilo, we're talking about. I'm sorry. We're talking about movies that I've shown you from the past, from the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
If you can remember, Boys in the Hood, that you watched it with me, and Toy Soldiers. See if you remember those movies that we looked up. So we're talking right now about Shawshank Redemption, which I think everyone that sees that movie,
you know,
and no, the other imagery is like the Brooks, the one that had the bird.
Mm-hmm.
The bird also signifies what he went through. Because why is the bird there? Bird should be flying.
Right.
Why would that bird stay there? Because it's like everything. Anything could get institutionalized. Anything could get used to. A bird that gets locked up, even after you open the cage, won't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's used to it.
Because he gets used to it. So that's why that was the symbolism with the bird.
Yep.
That him and the bird were sort of going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So yes. Sorry.
So some people are like sending me message through Messenger. Oh, it's only in English. So I'm gonna tell you what we're talking about.
Right.
Estamos hablando de las películas de los 90s.
Este es un show en Spanglish.
Spanglish. So, si usted tiene alguna película que se recuerde, que no sea Cantinfla, puede.
Oye, le compré una colección de Cantinflas a mi papá para su cumpleaños.
De la de oro.
No, eso fue mi hermano Jordan. Mi hermano Jordan le dio esa.
Que la estaban vendiendo por el 23.
Pero era VHS.
Oh, ya ustedes saben. Pues si usted tiene alguna película que sea
de los 90,
de los 90, que no sea Cantinfla, entonces puede ponérnosla ahí para nosotros laborar sobre esa película.
¿Qué película? Hay películas buenas que todo el mundo se acuerda. Mira, mi hermano mencionó Goodfellas.
Yeah,
Goodfellas, una película de mafia de Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. ¿Cuál es el otro? Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
Yes.
Se fue tremenda
Right.
película. It's an incredible movie.
Yeah. You know, I also want to add to the Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank.
Shawshank Redemption. Sorry, I got my English, you know.
No, it's not good looking.
It's
Como
good
dice esto lo-
But you know, we met somebody that comes to the shop that her son is going through the same situation. You know, something like that movie, because basically he was with a friend that they were gonna, they were gonna do an illegal transaction, and the friend tried to rob him, and he ended up, killing the guy.
Oh, wow.
And then he while he's in jail, he met the guy that was like the brother-in-law to the guy that was gonna go kill him. So the guy overheard him, and he said, "Look, they met in jail. Like, what's the odds, right? These two are in jail." And he says, "Hey, are you so and so?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" He says, "Well, I don't know you, but I remember overhearing your name when they were gonna rob you. Now today I meet you.
Wow.
And that was like in my mind while you guys were talking, and I was like, wow, it just comes to show you that, the inspirations of movies.
No, and
things
very
that
few
happen.
movies that no matter, let's say it's on TV, and you put it on, and no matter what part of the movie is on, whether it's the beginning, you could still watch it. You could still watch it and kind of like enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's a steady paced movie.
You
know?
talked about that. You just mentioned Goodfellas. I'm like that with Goodfellas, and I'm also like that with Casino.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I don't care when it comes on. I don't care what part it's on. I will watch it in its entirety. I am a very big fan.
You
of
seen
Casino.
Goodfellas?
I don't remember.
Yeah, era de mafia.
True story about
I probably-
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill
I
era
probably
el
did.
main character que en vida real.
he was a Jewish guy, wasn't
So
he? Yeah.
Irish.
Irish.
Yeah, he was half
Half Jewish.
we're
have
gonna
Irish.
play a little game now, and I'm gonna ask you guys a little bit about this movie, and you're gonna say it out loud which movie it is. Okay?
Okay, this
So,
is probably going to be really easy. because we all
One,
know about
two,
movies.
three. You guys ready?
Dilo en español para la gente.
Okay,
Mira.
so ahora vamos a hacer un juego y yo voy a describir esta película y ellos me van a gritar rápido el nombre de la película.